You've been thinking about launching a podcast, and it's a great way to promote your business. But where do you start? You have so many questions. What equipment do you need? How long should an episode be? How do you get listed on Spotify? About Basingstoke is the answer. We're professional audio producers with decades of experience. We can advise you on your podcasting strategy, record your episodes, or show you how to do it yourself, get you listed on all the major platforms, and help you understand audience building and ways to turn listeners into leads. Find out more at aboutbasingstoke.com/podcasts. Oh, and if you think you have to do video because who listens to audio these days? Well, you're listening to this, aren't you? Get professional podcast advice and production. Visit aboutbasingstoke.com/podcasts.
About Basingstoke.
We wouldn't be here without the amazing support from IncuHive, who have a superb new location at Helm Mills, Basingstoke, offering everything from a virtual office address to dedicated offices, all with brilliant business support. Find out more at incuhive.co.uk.
I'm Mark Jones, the founder of Mr. Blue Sky Consultancy and the Stronger Together Forum.
Well, Mark, we're sitting in the lovely surroundings of the Village Hotel at Basing View, and people who listen to About Basingstoke, particularly on a Monday, will have already heard your voice, but I'm sure people know you anyway. Former editor of the Basingstoke Gazette, you were very much involved in the ARC Cancer Charity, Destination Basingstoke, and now your new exciting project, which is really taking off.
Yeah, thanks for that intro, Steve. Yeah, Stronger Together Forum. I can't believe it, Steve. It's only 3 months since January 29 when I launched this. And you know what it's like, and I'm sure lots of people who are out there who are sole traders, business people, when you have an idea and you think, I really think this could work and I hope it will. And I launched it and at the wonderful Arena offices, which is an amazing building. And I was really humbled that 70 people came to the launch. And we launched this organisation, which is a values-led organisation designed to bring value to its members. And it's predicated around 4 core values of collaboration, kindness, hope and impact. And we launched this on the 29th of January. And here we sit just at the beginning of May. And we've got 46 members. And I am absolutely bursting with joy about that.
Well, I mean, congratulations on that. I mean, that is fantastic growth within such a short space of time, and clearly it's because the people who are members have signed up to your vision for those 4 core values.
It is, and I think it is about shared values, Steve. I mean, you know, it is the sort of thing where I do quote this thing about, does anybody want to get on the STF bus? And thankfully people have wanted to get on the STF bus, and I'm really pleased about that. But it doesn't surprise me in Basingstoke. We've got such a wonderful community here, wonderful business community, wonderful charity community, wonderful community organisations. And what we're providing with STF is an opportunity to come together, to have great conversations, to make great connections, and to do things where we'll have some real impacts. And we're seeing this already, which is fantastic. I mean, I'm already hearing that members are doing business with each other. They're supporting some of the charity members and the community organisation members. And we're hearing these great conversations going on. And that's really heartening. I mean, this is, this organisation is fledgling at the moment. 12 weeks is fledgling. But we're way ahead of where I thought we would be in that time. It's great every week people are asking about it and interested in it. And it's not a hard sell, Steve, because it's the sort of thing I go out, I talk to potential members, I listen to what they want, I ask them what they want. And then if their values and what they want resonates with STF, then they come on board, and that's brilliant.
And what are the sort of key themes that people are telling you that they do want then?
I think people are really post-COVID, they're really keen to get back to meeting people, having conversations, because, Teams is great in a way, but I think there's nothing better than doing a face-to-face chat. We have various elements to STF, and one of them is a Mr. Blue Sky Conversations. They're exclusive for STF members. Only 25 we have on each time. We've done 3 of these so far. And they're with different guests, different people. Most recent one was with Emily Roberts, the head of news at the Gazette, and Emily gave a fascinating chat, and we had a fascinating chat about local news, but also about her campaigning for endometriosis sufferers. She suffered from endometriosis herself, and it was really insightful and engaging, as were the other conversations. One was with Craig Killick, who at the moment is cycling from Athens to Basingstoke. I think Craig's in Albania at the moment. And the other one was with Dr. Paul Harvey, the leader of Basingstoke and Dean Borough Council. And again, Paul gave some fascinating insights. So it's lovely to have those conversations. And then we have a social event called STF First Tuesday. Being the journalist, it's THIRST. Can't take that out of me, Steve. And that is literally goes between 5 and 7, and people turn up, members, they bring a guest, and we just chat. And that's what we do. There's no structure, there's no agenda, we chat. And people are making connections, and that's brilliant. We have a newsletter so people keep in touch, and say that monthly event, but it's organically evolving. So I'm with this, and I've never been able to do this before. I'm spending more quality time with each member. And we're chatting, and I say to them, what do you want out of this organisation? Who do you want to connect with? And then we have those conversations, and we do that. We're also in the process, I've got 2 brilliant founding partners, Inclusion Education and Better Business for Good. Marie Greenhalgh is at Inclusion Education, Kaya Vincent runs Better Business for Good. Those are my 2 founding champions, and we're in the process of putting together a steering group. We're asking the members for 5 things that they want us to look at that we can tackle. That's to do with business, social impact, health, education and sustainability. So that steering group will meet in the next couple of months, and then we will say to the members, well, we've obviously listened to what your input is, and these are the 5 things we're going to concentrate on over the next year. And so it's about that impact. It's about doing something. This is not just a talking shop. It is about talking, making connections, getting ideas, looking at issues that need addressing and doing it. And it's all predicated around collaboration, kindness, hope and impact.
Yeah, well, I think it's the time, isn't it? I mean, we're both old enough to remember when people did have conversations all the time. I mean, when you were a newspaper editor, if you wanted a quote from somebody, you wanted a story, you'd have to pick up the phone or you'd go and see them. And that's how things always used to be. We live so much of our lives online. And as you mentioned, COVID really sort of fueled that. And unfortunately, there's still the overhang of COVID where things that were put online have stayed online when actually they don't need to be. And as you say, people want those face-to-face conversations. I mean, here we are with, the sun's almost shining, shining through. Exactly.
There's a punch there, Steve. Just up there.
That's the sun.
Thank God this is audio.
That's the bit. That's the bit we're referencing. Then that bit of sun there above us here at the Village Hotel, and it's lovely. We could have done this on Zoom or something, but who wants to do that all the time? And yes, sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
But when you have those face-to-face conversations, it's a different dynamic. Different things happen. You get different outcomes.
100%, Steve. I totally agree. I mean, I think, and probably you found this, and I think most of us will have found this in business. As you say, I'm pretty long in the tooth now. But I've always found my best sort of business relationships are done through personal meetings and through building friendships, actually. They're friendships. Yes, there is a business side of thing, but you build friendships. And that's what you do when you have conversations. It's not all about, it's not at all about sell. It's like any business. You do business with people you like, whatever it is, whether that is, whether you support charities you have a particular passion for, or the people who work for those charities, you like them, or community groups, you're keen on what they're doing. I mean, I've just seen, obviously, that we've got the marvellous news that we've got a Hope Hub in Basingstoke that Inclusion Education Marina team are doing. That is fantastic, built on the baton of hope. Now, that's something I hope lots of STF members will want to get involved in, want to support, And then you've got Kaya doing her Better Business for Good. She launched that last year by herself. She's got now lots of members who are coming on board, who are delivering those sustainable sort of business decisions, and also good business decisions like, making sure the proper wage is paid, the living wage is paid, making sure they're being sustainable, making sure that, that they do commit some of their funding towards good causes and things like that. So it's amazing. And she's coming up with great projects herself and Cheryl from Cornerstone Nurseries. They've been involved, Cheryl Standing from Cornerstone Nurseries. They've been involved in this Hop into Reading project, which is brilliant. It's looking at literacy issues in Basingstoke. And those things don't happen without people doing stuff. So, it's great I am very blessed to have two founding champions who are really doers. They are doers, and and the members of STF are doers as well. And it was really a nice moment last Thursday when before Emily and I did our conversation. We have a little bit of informal networking 15 minutes before, and Emily and I were chatting, and you could just hear the buzz around the table, just hear the buzz, and it was fantastic, and it was I almost felt quite rude interrupting the buzz and saying, sorry, we've got to stop the talking now because Emily and I have got to talk. But it's lovely to see, Steve, and I really hope it continues, and say there's some really good partners out there as well, like working with Arena offices has been brilliant. They're great venues, and they've got really involved and really supported me, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And those sort of hubs, like you mentioned, Arena, About Basingstoke works very closely with InQ Hive, who have just come to the town as well. And I think the thing to remember is that these sort of organisations are not just there for physical space, it's the business support that they offer, which is so important.
And InQ Hive, I'm glad you mentioned InQ Hive, because I think they've been fantastic. I went through their business support programme. I think there was about 70 of us on it. And I know they've just won a contract from Basingstoke and Dean for, I think, the next 2 to 3 years. And I'd really encourage any small business out there who's looking to start up or scale up to get in touch with InQ Hive. George and Pippa and the team have been fantastic, and it certainly helped me. I mean, I think as we know, Steve, when you run a small business, it can be quite lonely. And to have a team like the InQ Hive team on your side is amazing. It's like getting a football team behind you, and you've turned up as a player, and suddenly you've got all these other players, and they are great. So I would really encourage people to get in touch with InQ Hive if they're looking at starting up or scaling up their business.
And I think the whole thing that we're talking here, whether it's your organisation, whether it's InQ Hive, whether it's Arena, whether whatever it is, I think it's about collaborating locally. Absolutely. Really, really important. Yeah. And I think we've come through a period, quite a long period, where everyone's been looking globally. Everyone's been looking at what's going on in the whole world, and where people have been saying things like your market isn't local, it's everywhere, and all that. And we're now in a situation where, at the time of recording, the Strait of Hormuz is still largely closed. We've got somebody in the White House who is making bizarre decisions. We've got some odd things going on in politics in the UK as well. All we can really control is what we can see around us. And it's having those conversations and those connections with the people that we can actually see, shake their hand and sit down and say, let's talk about this.
I think that's spot on, Steve. You're dead right. Localism is more important now. It's interesting as well. I mean, one of the key values is hope. And I think you're right. You mentioned geopolitical things, and you're right. The guy in the White House is just, we can't control what he does. I'm not sure he can control what he does. But locally, I think it's people are, I'm really feeling that people want to see local sport. And what's one of the big things about STF, we want to see Basingstoke. It's a Basingstoke first approach. We want people in Basingstoke to do business with businesses in Basingstoke. We want local authorities and public sector organisations to at least give Basingstoke firms a chance to bid for projects and to be in the mix. And there needs to be a shift in thinking so that the default is it is Basingstoke first, and the only reason you don't choose a Basingstoke first company is if there is a particular good reason why you've got to go elsewhere. We've got masses of talent in this area, Steve, and it is. I think, I've been here nearly 30 years in business, and it is a massive frustration to me that not enough business is done internally, and that's one of the big things that STF is trying to do, and I'm seeing it happen, and that is really, really good, even in this very early stage. And I think that is so important. So, I think it's really important going forward with local government reorganisation coming up, that we're going to obviously have a North Hampshire Unitary Authority, which is brilliant, but we've really got to push, and really I want to see our local politicians really backing Basingstoke first, so that when people need their insurance, they go to a Basingstoke company. When they need, cleaning, they go for their businesses, they go to a Basingstoke company. When they need a podcast, they talk to you or me, Steve.
Either will do.
Either will do.
We're fine.
If you're looking for Premiership, he's got all the technology. If you're looking for STF, then come to me. But
I like that Basingstoke first thing, and it's good that we clarified that neither of us are fans of the character in the White House, so we know it's not going to be "Make Basingstoke Great Again." That's not going to be the slogan.
Absolutely not, mate. No, that'd be MABA. Make Basingstoke.
It doesn't. Yes, exactly.
It's not even pronounceable. No, absolutely not. But actually, I don't think we need to make Basingstoke great again, because it is great. We've both been here a long time, Steve. We've seen a lot in this town, and I think the things. I love this place. I love the people. It's the people. That's what makes the place, and it's the people that make STF. And I say I am bursting with joy that already 46 members organisations have come on board, and they're getting on the bus, and we're doing stuff, and we're going to keep doing stuff. And I say I'm absolutely so grateful to them. I'm thrilled, and I've got to keep delivering for them, and that's what I'll be doing. But you're right, Steve. There is so much, talent in this town, in this borough. And we've really, really got to make the most of that. We've got to talk this borough up. We've got to talk this town up, because far too often in the past, I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, Steve. It was pretty bad, I think, 30 years ago.
Oh, it's the butt of all jokes.
Oh, butt of all jokes. But we're not. We're a blooming good place, and we've got great people. We've got great businesses. We've got great community. I think you'd have to be really hard pushed to find somewhere that ticks so many boxes as Basingstoke and Dean does.
Yeah, I travel a lot around Hampshire and beyond, and there are very few towns where you can do everything you need to do. There are towns that have bits of it.
Yeah.
There are towns where there are some nice restaurants and bars. Yeah. There are towns where, maybe they've got some leisure facilities that we don't have here currently, but, probably going to get at some point. But Basingstoke is one place which has everything. It's got the shopping, it's got the bars and restaurants, it's got the leisure stuff, and it's got a business community that really, really works together.
I've never seen a bit. Obviously I've worked for 40 years now. I've worked in various places like your good self. I've never seen anywhere like Basingstoke, like the community, the business community, never. And, it is a joy to come up here and, to come into town and come into the borough, and to go out and meet people, and to meet business people and have those conversations, because people are really collaborative. They are really passionate about Basingstoke. They're passionate about doing good. If you could bottle the kindness here, if you could bottle the energy here, if you could bottle a collaboration, well, we need a lot of bottles, I can tell you. But it's amazing. It's just an incredible place, incredible buzz, but it's because of the people. They are just amazing people, and we are so blessed to be here and in this place.
I've got to tell you, you've gone all sort of wistful as you were saying that. You're almost like you look like a poet who's about to write some sort of ode to Basingstoke.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll be going down that route. I don't think, Steve. No, I leave others to write the ode to Basingstoke. But it's lovely to see. At our STF event last week. Emily's great, the head of news at the Gazette, and she's based out born and bred, and. To have a local journalist like that who's passionate about Basingstoke is really, really important, because obviously the printed media sector, as we know, has shrunk massively. I think there are probably about 5 people working at the Gazette now. In my day, there were 36 people I was in charge of. So,
and they haven't all left because you were in charge of them. No, they didn't all leave during your time. You didn't leave them.
Say, Steve, they have all gone on to successful careers, and there's no link between them leaving. No, it was one of those things. It's like the print media has shrunk so much, and it comes to that thing where you're trying to still deliver quality stuff. And I must say, it's great to have About Basingstoke going in Basingstoke. I wish you every success. I think it's great that you're doing it and that George is backing you at InQ Hive. I think the channels of communication nowadays are so broad, and there is space for this. There is space for conversations. There is space for podcasts. And I'd really encourage anybody out there who is doing podcasts that fit the sort of material that Steve is looking for, please send them in to him, because it is great. It's a way to get your message out there, and particularly for the charities and the community groups, but also the businesses to come and talk, because this is a station that I am convinced will build, I think, and where you look at it, something like, and I know this may seem an odd comparison, but Times Radio started off from scratch. Yes, it had that big Times branding behind it, but it's a conversational station and it works really well. And I think on a local level, About Basingstoke is going to be a wonderful part of our marvellous jigsaw.
Oh, that's lovely of you to say, Mark. And as you often say on your podcast, you often say, can you believe we've been talking for nearly 20 minutes? We're going to have to shut up because there's some guy coming on with his Mr. Blue Sky conversations in just a minute. So we're going to make room for that. But thank you so much for being on About Basingstoke, and tell people how they can join the Stronger Together Forum.
Stronger Together Forum, if you go to my website, which is Mr. Blue Sky Consultancy.co.uk, there's a Stronger Together Forum section on there. You just read through, you can see what it's all about, and there's an application form at the bottom to join. So it's very simple. Really looking for people whose values resonate, and as I say, we're looking for organisations, and particularly businesses, particularly small and medium-sized businesses, I would say, like big businesses as well, but particularly small and medium-sized businesses that we can help, but who resonate with those values. We want to help people make a difference, and we want, as I say, we're a values-led organisation, and we want to bring value to the membership.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. And as Mr. Blue Sky himself leaves this conversation, the black clouds come over. That bit of sun that we were talking about earlier is gone. It's about to rain here at the Village Hotel. So we'll leave it there. And thank you so much, Mark, for being a guest on About Basingstoke.
Thank you, Steve.
You've been thinking about launching a podcast, and it's a great way to promote your business. But where do you start? You have so many questions. What equipment do you need? How long should an episode be? How do you get listed on Spotify? About Basingstoke is the answer. We're professional audio producers with decades of experience. We can advise you on your podcasting strategy, record your episodes, or show you how to do it yourself, get you listed on all the major platforms, and help you understand audience building and ways to turn listeners into leads. Find out more at aboutbasingstoke.com/podcasts. Oh, and if you think you have to do video because who listens to audio these days? Well, you're listening to this, aren't you? Get professional podcast advice and production. Visit aboutbasingstoke.com/podcasts.